Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post another quick video here. This is going to be another video just kind of jumping on a thread, I guess that's starting to go around. We had a thread recently that was kind of a give me 10 or about 10 of your favorite album openers, side one, track ones. And last night I saw that Alex from Alex Spins Vinyl, his username, he did another thread that I'm not sure if he kicked it off or if he got it from somebody else, but I saw his video, and he basically did best album closers. So now looking at some of the best songs that close out an album. Now, so I guess what I kind of did, especially after watching his video, because just right off the bat, when I was watching Alex's video, I think there was 4 or 5 that he picked, which were like some of my number one picks that would have been on my list. So I tried not to, use the ones that he used there because, he said he picked some great ones. And then also try to stay away from maybe a lot of the core ones that I know a lot of us kind of already, or at least a good majority of us, will already kind of agree are fantastic closers. So like some of the stuff that Alex showed, I believe, like Won't Be Fooled Again with The Who, he showed that one. Kind of forgetting now other things that he showed. But it was like 4 or 5 that he picked. I believe When I Fall in Love by Stevie Wonder would have definitely been a definite pick for me. And then you have Freebird by Leonard Skinner. You have a number of things by Van Halen you could choose. My personal favorite probably would have been Summer Nights off of 5150. And just on and on and on. There's just a lot of different things. So I tried to choose maybe some that wouldn't be as common, just to kind of challenge myself a little bit maybe. First 2 though are going to be pretty core that a lot of people would probably agree with and are somewhat common. So let me get those 2 out of the way. And the first one I'm going to go with here is Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. And of course, Into the Void being the song that closes out this album and being one of my top 3 Sabbath songs. I mean, how could I not pick that one? So definitely a fantastic closer there. And another one, again, that I think a good chunk of people here in the VC will agree with is going to be off of London Calling. And of course, it's the untitled track, Train in Vain, which is definitely one of my top 3 Clash songs too. So definitely had to kind of show that one as well. So I think those 2 are probably pretty standard for the most part for most of us, along with the other ones I named, and then the other ones I can't remember off of Alex's video. But so here's some that I thought maybe wouldn't be as common for the most part, but some that I really love. And I'm starting with Sade, Love Deluxe, my favorite Sade album. This is a music on vinyl pressing, which is really nice. But yeah, the songs that most people know off of here, No Ordinary Love was kind of her big, gigantic hit. Also Kiss of Life and Cherish the Day. But the closing track on here is called Mermaid. And actually, the best song on the album is Bulletproof Soul. I think by far that is the absolute best track on this album. Maybe my absolute favorite Sade song, period. But the closing track, which is what this video is supposed to be about, is Mermaid. And it's just an instrumental piece, but like literally you listen to that and you feel like you were just floating and swimming right through water. I mean, the title of the song and the feel of it just really captures everything, and it's just so type of thing. But yeah, Mermaid off of Soul Deluxe is Love Deluxe, I'm sorry, is a fantastic track. Another one that I think definitely deserves a list is Free off the album Fire and Water, and it is the song All Right Now. I've always said it's just a great, perfect, pure, right in your face classic rock track with that whole Bad Company feel to it for obvious reasons. But yeah, fantastic track, great closing track, great track period. So All Right Now by Free. Next one here, going with Don Henley, I know there's plenty of people that kind of like the Eagles stuff, but maybe don't like Don's '80s career as much. But I love what he did in the '80s. You know, with Boys of Summer and all that stuff was freaking fantastic. You know, even on this album, End of the Innocence, New York Minute, Last Worthless Evening. I cannot talk tonight for whatever reason. Fantastic tracks, but the closing track is The Heart of the Matter, is the closing song on this album. And again, it's a great song. Um, Love the storytelling in it, very heartbreaking, and you really feel Don throughout that album, or throughout, well, the album with that song in particular. So that would definitely make a great closing track list for me. The next I'm gonna go to here, which is Prince, and this is Under the Cherry Moon. I'm sorry, this is Parade. Um, Again, good album. You know, you have songs like Girls and Boys and Mountains and a number of good things on here. But the closing track, which is Sometimes It Snows in April, is a fantastic, fantastic track. One of my favorites by Prince. It's one of the tracks that I listen to, and I always say to myself, like, that's one of the tracks that shows why Prince was the genius that he was. The simplicity in that song and just the beautiful nature of it. I mean, it just sounds like love. I don't even know how else to put it. But if you're not familiar with that track, definitely make sure you check it out. It has about a 50 or 60-second introduction to it until he gets into this piano melody that's just so freaking beautiful. But great, great closing track on that album. Next, we're going to go to this one here, which is Ice Cube Death Certificate, which I don't have on vinyl, but I got the CD. And the closing track is No Vaseline. And so, and maybe for those of you that aren't as into, rap or hip hop music, just a quick backstory about that. Of course, Ice Cube was initially in the band NWA, which, was really kind of the first rap slash hip hop band to really make a stamp in a very, very large way in the music world. Matter of fact, I've always said Straight Outta Compton by NWA and Nevermind by Nirvana were two albums that, just like this, completely changed the direction of all music across the board. And I think in a way it probably hasn't been done since the Beatles in terms of one album, everything just completely and totally turned around. And so Straight Outta Compton with NWA was one of those. Whereas they got really big, Ice Cube didn't quite like what was going on with the money and the contracts. He was just a little more aware than some of the other guys, and he ended up leaving the band. Well, in a song that NWA did after they left, they I think it was on 100 Miles and Running, where they referred to Ice Cube as a Benedict Arnold in one of their lyrics, kind of saying he, portrayed the band and blah, blah, blah. Well, Ice Cube got a little pissed about that, and in his next album, Death Certificate, he made a response song called No Vaseline, which is the last track on this song. And one of the most vicious diss songs you probably ever heard. So anyway, if you ever want to check that out, give it a listen, especially after hearing the story. You'll maybe find it kind of amusing. So after going from something like Ice Cube and NWA, we can take it a little bit softer and go back to Ambrosia. And this is 180. And I picked this because the closing track on here is Biggest Part of Me. Is the closing track. And it's my favorite song by Ambrosia. Just one of those perfect, awesome, soft rock 70s type of soft rock songs. Or I guess this was, 80 maybe actually. Yeah, I think 1980. But yeah, kind of that 70s soft rock feel, and love it, love it, love it. So I'm definitely going to choose that as one of my favorite closing tracks. Next, we will go to the man himself, Never Be Another, Mr. Ray Charles. And off of this album here, again, this is just a fantastic album, period. I mean, just whether it's Drown in My Tears, What a Fool for You, Hallelujah, I Love Her So, Mess Around, Mary Ann. I mean, just all kinds of fantastic tracks. But the closing song on here is "I Got a Woman," which again was one of Ray's big hits. Awesome, awesome track and a fantastic way to close out what's already a fantastic album. If you have no other Ray Charles album in your collection, this and Modern Sounds and Country Western Music are two Ray Charles albums that everybody should have. Let's see, you got three more here. The Edgar Winters Group. And this is They Only Come Out at Night. Another one of his freaky little covers. And it's the song Frankenstein, closing track here. My favorite song by the group too. And it's just an intermittent. I cannot talk. It's just an instrumental piece, but I absolutely love it. And it kind of has a lot of, I guess, some personal meaning to me as well, because where I played basketball back in college to this day, there's a band that always, plays during our, but like a small kind of jazz type of band, like 5 or 6 horns, a drummer, a bass player, and they play stuff during timeouts and all of that. Well, anytime there's an and one situation, where one of our guys, or way back when I used to play, would go up and get fouled and you make a shot, they would always play the first few bars of Frankenstein. So every time I hear that song, it immediately takes me back to the gym all the time. But yeah, it definitely has to be one of my favorite closers there. The last two, my boy Rod Stewart. I know you guys have heard me talk a number of times about how much I love 80s Rod. Doesn't change with this. And again, this one of those albums that has a fantastic opening track, which is Lost in You, and a fantastic closing track, which is When I Was Your Man. Another great track. Really kind of dives into that Motown type of thing that Rod could do. Lost in You is kind of one of the songs that lets him bring that out a little bit. Fantastic. I love this album so much. Lost in You, of course, everyone knows kind of the big hits like Forever Young or My Heart Can't Tell You No, Crazy About Her, When I Was Your Man, Lost in You. I can listen to this album all day, every day. So great stuff there. And last but not least, I pulled out probably 9 or 10 hip-hop albums that I had to put back. Like Fight the Power, Public Enemy. I think that was one I think that Alex picked, which is also one that would make my list. But I ended up going with Houdini's Escape. And the last song is We Are Houdini. And when it comes to hip-hop albums, as again, if you saw, I don't know how many times I've mentioned this in videos in the past, over the past 9 or 10 years or whatever, this is one of the greatest hip-hop albums ever. I mean, We Are Houdini is an awesome closer, but then you have 5 minutes of funk as the opening track. Freaks Come Out at Night, Big Mouth, Friends. Oh my gosh, that album is slamming right there. But yeah, We Are Houdini as the closing track. So there you go. Those are kind of some of the, again, not straightforward, common ones, however you want to put it. At least I think. I mean, I could find out just the opposite is the VC always tends to surprise me. But yeah, as always, let me know what you guys think. And again, Alex, thanks for kind of getting that rolling. And we'll talk to you guys soon. All right, take care, VC.